Unotake.
Who is it?
Did I not? What did I say this morning and last night? When was Trump going to hit it? Come on, Liv. Don't do this to me. I need you. Be my witness. Liv, when did I say he was going to do it?
I don't remember.
Today!
Oh, I don't
How do you
remember.
not? You just said it 5 seconds ago before we were live. You're like, you called it. I don't know. How do I not get it? How come every time we go live, you forget when you give me love? Is it personal?
No, because I don't remember saying it.
You did.
Otherwise
You
I
just,
would've.
yeah, okay. Well, everyone else says, I'll check the tape, Liv. Matt, I know I called it. Matt knows. Matt remembers. Matt remembers what I say. Everyone, I said, don't be surprised if he hits him on Saturday. I said he's going to give it the full 2 weeks, but don't be surprised if he hits him this weekend. That's why we're on. Folks, we don't have time to wait. We're going to give you live coverage. President Trump's going to address the nation. This is huge. We'll see you in just 3 minutes. It's going to be quicker than that. See ya.
Welcome. It is Eric Erickson here. The phone number 877-973-7425. Should you wish to be on the program, I'm going to go to Dayton, Ohio. WHIO. Mike is listening up there. Welcome to the show, Mike. How are you?
Good, sir. How are you? Hey, this is the second time I'm calling in. You and I had a really great conversation last time about the strength of China.
Yes.
I am one of the intelligence analysts. Do you mind if I get in a quick plug here?
Go for it. I'll allow it.
Okay. I am one of the hosts of the Don't Unfriend Me show. It's a podcast, and we reference your show all the time.
Fascinating stuff. Listen, plug your podcast one more time.
Thank you very much. You have a good day.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah,
Mike,
can you hear me?
Give the name of your podcast one more time.
Yeah, so it's called the Don't Unfriend Me show. Facebook, X, Tumblr, all of the major platforms. It's on every day from 7 p.m. And it's myself and another gentleman named Matthew Spear. We host it, and we are two former intelligence analysts.
Perfect. Mike, thanks very much. I appreciate that. Don't unfriend me either. 877-973-74.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. I appreciate you. Thanks for being with us. I had a feeling. You're not supposed to be on, are you?
Nope.
I'm kicking you off.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Last night, listen, Leroy and I walked through this. We told you that, well, first of all, we broke before everyone this morning, and most people saw it, that we said 6 B-2Bs, B-2 Spirits flew to Diego Garcia. Now, this isn't something new, except the B-2s that were stationed at Diego Garcia were brought back about 6 months ago with tensions with China. War games usually during the spring and summer will pull the B-2s out of that area just in case someone gets froggy. But they were recalled back this morning and made the flight. They went Echo Foxtrot at around, if my understanding is correct, and
Foxtrot?
Just went off the grid. Poof.
Got
It disappeared, went stealth. In fact, I can't tell you that time. But what I can tell you is that they were on visual from human intelligence that they were seen taking off, and that was released. And then it was confirmed with a deployment order that was also from the DOD. That was something that we got our hands on. Fox put it on about an hour and 10 minutes later. We had it for you this morning and told you that that was happening. That should have been a great indicator for everybody that they were going to head to Diego Garcia, and that's the route that they were taking. What we do know is that there are several strikes. I've got Fox News on. The president is coming on shortly, and we're going to go ahead and kind of assess what's been happening. I'm on Live UA Map. This is a tool that I use constantly. It is 100% unclassified information. However, it may be at times classed without anyone knowing that it's classed. And the reason why is it's real-time information. This is like eyewitness news. What we're looking at is Iran here, and I'm going to get into a satellite and a hybrid map quickly to kind of give you some bearing here. And just bear with me
While you're doing that.
Yeah, do what, folks? This is a Saturday. We aren't supposed to be on a Saturday. So we would appreciate it if you take a look at our donations, which are $300. Help us out, because we're not even supposed to be here today.
Thank you, Janet Crenshaw. She actually sent it last night, and unfortunately we didn't get it till right after we turned the show off. So wanted to give her a shout out. So thank you.
I'm not supposed to have any ads. This is so stupid. I pay for this service. Why do I have ads? Just give me my satellite. Dude, close. This is so stupid. All right, I got to log in, I guess. Again? Just give me my satellite. Why won't you give me my satellite? Why don't you go in your home, ball? Okay, I don't understand. I'm signed in. Settings. Hold on a second. We got to get off that screen. I don't want you guys to see all my personal stuff. Payments? Oh, that's why. Oh, I need to pay.
You need to pay them.
I forgot to pay them.
That might help.
Pay monthly. PayPal. Sorry, guys. Sorry, live UA map. I forgot to up my bill. Why are you on my screen? Get off my screen, Olivia. Jeez Louise. So needy.
Thank you.
All the time.
For the love of God, don't put me up tonight.
You look beautiful.
Thanks.
You always look beautiful. You have a natural. Oh my God, enter my code. Come on. You look beautiful. Enter your code from your authenticator app.
You know, while we're doing this, I forgot to ask you, are we doing anything tomorrow? Like
what? What do you mean?
Anything
like
throughout
the
the day? No, anything throughout the day personally.
No, what do you want, a massage?
Well, that would be nice. No, Ethan and I both have a friend that is here from Texas, and I wanted to go see him.
Of course.
So I
take
wanted
care of
to double check and make sure.
No, we're not doing anything. We've done. Go take it off. Go have fun. Go celebrate. We're almost done, folks. I'm sorry. Matt, but this is what you have instilled in us, is to expect your shared knowledge when something like this happens. Well, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. I'm trying to get this thing paid for. We weren't expecting to come on tonight, you know? We weren't. Oh, come on. Pay. Thank you for your purchase. Thank you. No, thank you, Live UA Maps. We appreciate you. Paid. Now enough of this shit. Get me on. Let's go. Give me my Mappus. Where's my satellite? Thank you. Oh, it's going to be a fun day, boys and girls.
Yep.
Lot of information. All right. President's coming on. You said 10 o'clock?
10 o'clock, which
2200
means probably
Eastern.
11.
I don't know. He's he'll be pretty punctual today.
It's true.
All right. So let's get into this. Super chat, $1.99 from Chud. Thanks, Chud. And thanks everybody for letting me set this up. We weren't ready. I mean, I had a really good feeling that this was going to happen. All right. So a lot of people are upset. They're, oh my God, this is World War III. This is not World War III. This is to prevent World War III. Okay. This is to prevent World War III.
Yep.
And the reason why is people don't seem to understand is that, yes, the Ayatollah had said that he was done seeking a nuclear weapon in 2003, but that doesn't mean that they don't have the capability. And the timetable of being able to do it has narrowed to where the U.S. intelligence and predominantly Mossad believe, and MI6 and I don't think JMP does, but it doesn't matter. The point is that many intelligence agencies around the world, including Mossad, believe that 12 days is the time that they could manufacture a nuclear warhead if they decide to put it together now. That window is incredibly small and terrifying. So here's the deal. It is my understanding that 3 sites were ultimately hit, and I'm going to walk you through which ones. This is Tabriz, Azerbaijan, and this is a road. It was targeted Saturday, and absolutely got. And this is Isfahan right here. Isfahan, as you can see in this lower right-hand corner, has been getting hit and bombed. Huge blasts in this area. Isfahan is where this nuclear power plant is. And more importantly, in Isfahan, you have got several different air defense in Tabriz and Isfahan. These air defense could be S-300s. They could be old SAs. The intelligence on there is more than likely that they're S-300 surface to air missiles, But these are the man portables. Remember I told you about man portables, which means that they're on a truck or they could be shoulder mounted or whatever it would be. These are movable and hittable surface to air missiles, which I explained to you guys that the perimeter around these areas for about 100 kilometers, they would wipe clean before doing any high altitude bombing. So the reason why they do that, thank you for the donation, Sandra Edwards, 3140. Thank you guys. This helps. It's Saturday. But remember what I told you. If you look at these strategic points in Iran, you're going to see down here, you're going to see strikes. You're going to see up here in this area, you're going to see strikes. And then here, you're going to see strikes. And these are the 3 remaining nuclear sites. You want to put her bed up there so she gets off of our table? And
Yes.
let's put her bed up there.
I'm going to have Hayden come do it.
Yeah, that'd be great. So this is what I tried to explain. And you'll see that all of these areas that are being hit is infrastructure, power, communications, command and control. And really, if you take a look at the flight path of these B-2s, you'll see a little area right here which is below India. If I could get on this damn thing, is Diego Garcia. Can you get the cat bed and put it in between the mics, Ethan?
Yeah, and then I got to ask you something real quick.
So, Ethan, go get the cat bed in the front and put it in the middle right there. So this is Diego Garcia. I've been there, actually, a couple times. And not only is Diego Garcia a landing strip, which you can see, and a air base, a fairly long one, and you can see the runway is extended. Runway is extended because usually it's B-52s and B-2s that fly out of here, which are the bombers. And these are where the bombing campaigns have been established for the entire Middle East. This is pretty huge. So Diego Garcia also does some other things which I can't get into. But Diego Garcia is a strategic point for the U.S. military, a kickoff point for any attacks. It's not large at all. It's very narrow. It's a very small island, very small base. But strategically, it is far enough away from most Middle Eastern countries, as you can see, and their ability to use missile bombardment from ICBMs, medium range and intermittent range ICBMs to hit Diego Garcia. Other than that, the only other threat you're really going to get is Navy. And really the only Navy that could provide any threat to them would be India and China. But they're not going to be hitting that base anytime soon, considering that a carrier group is usually right around the Gulf or below the Suez at all times, keeping an eye on the Yemenis and the Houthis, which are over here, as you can see from my marker. Then you have the Red Sea, and then you have on the western side, this is where the remaining Houthis are from Yemen, which have been a thorn in the side. But anyway, Diego Garcia is a kickoff point. James Cody says Matt knows more than he chats about. I think that's a fair assessment, dude. All right, so let's get into some of the HK and some of the kill targets. Here is some information that came out. So 12 U.S. Air Force F-22 stealth fighter jets supported by KC-135, which are refuelers, and KC-46 aerial refueling tankers. So the KC-46 and the KC-135 are both refuelers. What's wrong, baby? Why don't we order another one for you? All right, so the KC-135 are refuelers, and here you can see this is a KC-135 in this lower picture here. You can see my mouse. I'm sorry, my mouse is very, very small. That's what she said. Let's see if I can fix that real quick.
Not something to brag about there, dear.
Whatever. You've never asked for a refund. Screen sharing, mouse cursor size, gigantic. I think most people would agree. I know Olivia sure does. There it is. So you can see down here, KC-135. That might be a 46. That looks like a 46. No, it's a 135. And then the F-22s are, they've arrived at Muwafaq, say that real fast, Air Base in Jordan after departing the RAF Lankenheath in the United Kingdom, which is Royal Air Force Base. So U.S. is getting some sort of support from Europe and England using bases to support the United States to do jump off points. It's interesting. There's also another hit here. That says the Israeli army shot down a drone that violated airspace in Golan Heights. See this? 21 hours ago, B-2 stealth bombers have reportedly taken off from Whiteman Air Force Base with support of 8 aerial Fueler retankers. And that would be here. Here's Whiteman. And it is in the middle of the United States. And I can't go into specifics of how I found that out, but I can tell you that the flight path, I want you to look right here, happens to go right through a little place called Virginia. And maybe you can figure out how I figured it out.
Oh, now I get it.
But I'm not going to sit here and talk about flight paths. I'm so happy you guys are live celebrating Dad's birthday right now while watching your show. For the accuracy you've always delivered. Keep it up, Matt and Olivia. Thank you, Mikey. Appreciate the donation. So, Liv, we got to be careful watching. Maybe you can go to Fubo and make sure we're watching for Mr. Donald Trump. Okay. So Isfahan was heavily struck about 18 hours ago. Isfahan is here. This is one of the nuclear plants. You can see some of these pictures are just brutal. Those are absolute large, bunker busting, 30,000 pound warheads going in there. You can tell by the plume that the damage is circular. It is high impact, and it is a dark black acrid smoke, which means that the fire is not extremely hot. That's hitting fuel lines. It's hitting vinyl. It's hitting rubber. It's hitting buildings. And you can tell by the magnitude and size of that blast from what looks to be about 3.75 miles away from that shot. That's a guesstimate. That is a massive plume and a massive mushroom. So that means a very high level force pushed that up, but it was also very, very wide. That is a very large explosion. Here's the video. Massive, massive devastation. So that's Isfahan, which was already hit by the Israeli Air Force. Israeli Air Force obliterated it, but the United States has hit that as well. 3 spots have been hit by the U.S. just to ensure complete destruction. So they were weakened by Israel, weakened infrastructure, weakened any hardened bunkers and defense, and then the U.S. came in and put their, I can't tell you what they put in, but I can just tell you that these things were more than overkill to do the job and did it. Like I told you they would, because we have the ability. Someone just asked, did you hear them fly over? Hearing? No, I did not hear them. But I will tell you that if 6 B-2s fly over the eastern United States, I probably had about 10 phone calls and texts that let me know it. So you have to understand is that once military deployment orders are posted, which this is standard information, which means it goes across bases, it goes through telecom, and then orders are delivered. By the time that takes place, everybody and their mother knows. So it's not like it's a classified troop movement. No one's going to get B-2s. Once they got off the eastern seaboard, those things went dark. They went EF, Echo Foxtrot. They were toast. They popped smoke and went dark. So that's a B-2 flying to Diego Garcia is not that rare. It just happens to be during a time where we were wondering if Iran was going to get hit, and you can put 2 and 2 together. So Mer News Agency, 22 people linked to Israeli intelligence services arrested in Qom. It's not a very good thing. So a lot of the Iranians are starting to sniff and uncover Mossad, which they're going to find that there are thousands of agents working for Mossad inside Iran. And we know this because the support for the Ayatollah and the Shah is weak. And the one thing that this insurgent has to consider, John Haggard says, being in the airborne, Matt, we kept quiet on shit. This wasn't a strike. Deployments don't mean anything. Once it's posted on the DOD, and once these things take off, everybody knows. There's no reason to be quiet about a B-2 going to Diego Garcia. There's no reason about the Nimitz pulls out and decides to go ahead and move to the Indian Ocean. These things are openly communicated. These things are openly acknowledged. It's not TS in any way, shape, or form. It's not even confidential. Once it's posted as orders for deployment, unless it's clandestine, which taking off on B-2s, good luck making that clandestine, considering that there are photographers and snoops that sit at those bases and wait for things to take off just so they can post it on their site for geeks like me who want to see it. Let's be very, very critical here. I don't release propaganda and I don't release confidential information. I would only share something with you that is verified and vetted as accurate and also unclassed. And if anything is inadvertently shared with you, it's because this is a real-time site and occasionally information, which is later classed, can be that. But even then, it's not classified. This is on a public area. So please, everyone, understand nothing that I reported endangered those B-2s. Those B-2s were already in Diego Garcia when I told you. I would never endanger anybody downrange. Okay? So then you have up in here, there's some other areas hit. This is an interesting thing. Whenever you see these speakers, these are squawks. And squawks are coming from the Iranian government that is specifically telling Iranian officials not to use cell phones and not to use communications in any way, shape, or form for fear of intercept. So all electronic devices have to be underground. By the way, I just figured you guys would want to know, Yenny is sleeping comfortable in her new bed. And Ash
thought she was going to take the dog bed because that's where she slept all day.
Yep, and Ash's is in the lower left. Ash will get to sleep on the floor under the sign, and Yenny is in her new bed. I guess we're going to have to keep it.
Yep, it's going to have to stay right there.
All right. Did we just get another donation?
I'm looking.
Oh no, I just thought.
Yep.
I thought I saw one pull up. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's look at some other type of things here. You have got another Iranian media air defenses in Tabriz and Isfahan have been hit. Activation of defense missiles in Iranian capital in Tehran. You've got a beautiful photograph here of a long-range drone attack that's coming in northern Israel. And here's an Israeli Air Force fighter. Jets destroyed 3 more Iranian F-14 fighters in a strike a short while ago. So they are continuing to hit Iranians' air defense force. CJ Jenkins donated 1080. Thanks for being here, Matthew. We do here in the U.S. have anything to be worried about? No, not at all. Olivia?
Yes.
Yeah, listen, you might have a sleeper cell group decide to do something, but are we worried about that? When it's 332 million people and the chances of anything hitting you are about 0.000003%, yeah. We don't have anything to worry about. Could something tragic happen? Sure. But do you have anything to worry about? No.
No.
Here's your video. There's a standing F-14, wings folded in, which is pretty standard. Let me show you the video. Liv, don't let me miss Trump.
Yep, I've got it up. Thank you, Dr. Michael Lynch, 2110. Appreciate it. And happy birthday, sir.
Happy birthday, Dr. Lynch. Good to see you guys back on here. We missed you.
Yeah, it's been a while.
F-14, you can see, is going to take a more than likely a drone strike. That's ISR, so high altitude drone, probably a Reaper. that more than likely doesn't look like a missile strike. That looks like something small, like an explosive device, handheld explosive device that's been attached to a drone and dropped, possibly with an altitude trigger. But either way, dropped in the center of the fuselage. And the way that it hit from the top, and missiles don't necessarily do that. They usually explode above target and go ahead and push down most. And especially for something like this. So to me, it looks like it's a handheld device. Let's go ahead and take a look.
There's a question too.
That's a handheld device on a drone being used a lot in the Ukraine. But those F-14s, essentially, we sold them and they went ahead and reacquired those from the United States. The United States was the sole owner of the F-14, which was a Grumman McDonnell Douglas manufactured, and when it was put out of service, we sold those all over the place. What's up?
Where to go? Roxanne has a question. Should we keep our head on a swivel worrying about sleeper cell attacks?
Here's the thing. It's like I said just a second ago. The chances of you being involved in some sort of sleeper cell attack is going to be slim to none. I've got to take this off and put it back on. The chances of us being involved in one of those things is slim to none, like a school shooting. Should people be aware? Always. And that shouldn't matter because we struck Iran today and hit nuclear sites. It should be because we always have our head on a swivel and we always remain frosty. Okay? Do I think we have anything to worry about? No, I don't. No, I don't. A lot of people were asking me a question about how did I know about the KC-135s and the 46s and the B-2s, is that you may not be able to track those B-2s, and you certainly can't, but you can track those KC-135s. KC-135s and E-46s, KC-46s, are on standard radar and air traffic control sites, which I have memberships to. So you can see this. This is how we found the KC-135s and the 46s that were in Mexico when we saw them in South America when we were doing counter drug ops, knowing that we had high altitude aircraft or some sort of overwatch, probably F-22s or 35s in Mexico doing long range attacks.
Were these populated areas?
Semi, but it's just like, yes, but no. If you're going to, most of these nuclear facilities have no-fly zones and buffers, fences, just like we would. And really, it's not a populated area. But yes, they're near populated areas. But do I expect a lot of civilian casualties? No, as long as you consider nuclear scientists and the janitor and anyone else not civilian because they're working in a military complex. Matt, did you see the red fireball at the mountain? Yes, we're going to get into that more. Thank you, Jesus from Rumble. Donated $5. Thank you, guys. Is there a reason Mashhad Airport hasn't been hit? That would be where the Chinese would bring those planes in. There are a few reasons why. If you have Chinese nationals sitting at Mashhad or still remaining there with Chinese aircraft, that complicates the thing. And you don't want to kill non-Iranians in this strike. So also, what threat does it pose? Iran doesn't have anything that can hit our F-22s. Our F-22s are sitting hundreds of miles off Tehran, and they are literally running a no-fly zone all within that area. If anything non-civilian gets up in the air, those F-22s are going to light it up like fucking Christmas. So it doesn't pose a threat. Now, China bringing in radar systems and weapon systems, if that is what's happening, it's already been done. And obviously, the United States doesn't find that to be a threat because they move forward with strikes. And more than likely, the Chinese apparatuses or the radar systems that they brought in may have been able to detect the B-2s, but probably not. The B-2s are very difficult to find. And usually they are on target before you even recognize their signature. Okay. So good question on that. Anything else?
Not yet that I have seen.
All right, good enough. So that 3 sites were hit. We're going to go to Fox. And so I've given you the live UA map and kind of giving you the breakdown.
Levine and Hannity are on right now. So.
Levin
and Hannity are both on.
All right, so let's let it. By the way, Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan. Natanz was already toast, but I think the U.S. said, listen, we're going to go in here. It's kind of like a dentist, Liv. You go to a dentist and he scrapes your teeth. He gives you a root canal. But you go to an oral surgeon and the oral surgeon is like, we're just going to pull this thing.
Yep.
And you're like, why? And it's like, because we're not going to take any chances. The United States, if they're going to burn fuel and they're going to create a strike package to go in there, they're just going to make sure that they're dead. And that's why they hit Fordow, Isfahan, and Natanz. And essentially, Iran's nuclear program is now non-existent. It's toast. It's cooked. It's
good.
done.
That's the whole point, right? Isn't that? I mean, that's what's been going on over the
Matt,
last week.
just a bit of picture issues. What does that mean? What picture issues do we have, John?
What is he?
Fordow is gone. Fordow is gone.
I don't see anything on Facebook.
I don't know. What picture issues are you talking about, John? Because I think my picture looks good. What's wrong with my picture? Maybe somebody can tell me.
Yeah.
A tad fuzzy. That's your internet connection, not my picture. That's your internet connection, brother. So anyway, Isfahan, which is in the south, these are all in a clustered area. They're all within like 120 miles of each other. So this is predominantly in the Tehran area, and this is the most protected and fortified area. That's why you saw that entire perimeter that I showed you. When I said, if we go in, if it's Israel or the United States, you're going to see 100-kilometer swath of a circle that is going to remove all man pads and all surface-to-air missile sites to negate any threat to high-altitude aircraft or any type of chaperone aircraft. And that's what happened. John, if it's fuzzy, it's your connection. It's not me. I'm running 4K, and it's beautiful. I'm watching it right now on 4 different feeds on Olivia's TVs. I look sexy as fuck.
Always. Mr. Hollandaise said he went to repost on Twitter, and our live feed is 3rd from the top.
Wow. Yeah, it's busy right now. Right now, we've got 138 on Twitter, 80 on 33 on YouTube, 80 on Facebook, and I think 125 in network are on the other channels, 43 on Rumble, and then Wimkin. So, folks, please keep sharing and keep liking. Let's go ahead and listen to Mark Levin, Sean Hannity. Not the best. You guys can hire me to come on.
Exactly.
I would be happy to. Let's go ahead and listen to this. Let's see what these guys have to say.
Experts, people that know a lot more than me, thought that 2 would do it. 5 minimum, maybe 6 tonight in that one facility. And Natanz in that facility.
So they're reporting armaments and ordnance. So I'll just tell you, 6 bunker busters. People say a lot, 1 or 2. Well, yeah, 1 or 2 would take out initial auxiliary power. But they've got like 3,000 centrifuges in Fordow. So not only do you have to hit the critical mass of those centrifuges, but you're going to have more than 1 power station. And most likely the second level will be additional power stations, which will be hardened. Paul Rivera, 2110, the Saturday update and the intel is worth more. Thanks for bringing it to us, Matt. No problem, Paul. So when you're looking at Fordow, it is spread out over a large acreage. That copse of mountain that it's built into, a lot of that was built up. And you're going to have auxiliary and secondary and main power units. So 1 or 2 bunker busters aren't going to do it. That's why they hit it multiple times. Plus, more is more. Suzanne McGoran gives 2110. Thank you for keeping us informed. Yep, we're not done. We're going to have a good one tonight. So just listen to me. 6 bunker busters on something the size of Fordow means that they knew exactly where to hit it, which means that everything in that facility was public knowledge. Because surprisingly enough, if I was striking that, I would put 30 bunker busters in there. I would kill everything because a lot of it would be guesswork. But because we had the intel, which Israel gave us, we knew exactly where everything was and how to hit it repeatedly in the right areas. So 6 bunker busters, I don't consider that overkill. I consider that just right.
Third facility, Esfahan, that facility, and you look at that one, that was 75% taken out, and they got hit with all of those Tomahawk missiles.
Everybody,
sound like
Ash is in her bed, and so is
little to
Yenny. They're both ready to sleep.
Yay. the
Sean,
bed's
there's no
worked.
doubt in my mind that there's been significant damage to those sites, including the Fordo facility. You got to trust that we really understood and could characterize that complex. It's a large complex. There's a lot of things that have to go right. So what we know now is the weapons were successfully released.
Thank you.
And we're going to assume right now that they achieved those results. But there's a lot of analysis that will still have to happen.
Yeah, but I'm not a lieutenant general, and I told you that. So, Mark Wetherington, congratulations, 8th Air Force Commander. I already said it, but that's the point. Why did you use 6? Because you didn't need 7. Why didn't you use 5? Because you needed 6. That's the answer. Hoorah! That's all I'm saying.
Thank God. We do need to pause sometimes and thank all of the people that were involved, all the people involved in the planning and the strategies and the intelligence. And, of course, our brave men.
I'm just going to let you know something, and I'm going to do a little tooting of the horn, is that I know for a fact that Iranian strike packages that have been in place for 30 years, I worked on. So I'm going to just say thumbs up. Congratulations to all the brothers and sisters in the intelligence community, Marine Corps, Army, and United States Navy that worked on strike packages hitting Tehran for this very thing. Taking out integrated air defense systems, taking out command and control structures from a C3 perspective, because C4 wasn't a thing. Computers weren't, although they were, the network of computers wasn't considered C4 at the point. It just started changing in 96, 97, where they started calling it C4. But the C3 infrastructure strike packages from Diego Garcia was with B-52s and not B-2s at the time. But a lot of this was written by Intel guys over the last 3 decades. So I would like to just go ahead and give myself, would you mind, Liv, just right here, just a little pat, nobody saw it. Can you get to a shot where they can see it, and do it better? That's good, baby. Thank you. I appreciate it. Really, your support is magnificent.
And the intelligence. And, of course, our brave men.
Tom says, is Israel taking out the Iranian seaports to stop the Mulans from blocking the Gulf? Listen, I'm sure Israel is doing whatever Israel needs to do to prosecute this war effectively. Taking out the Iranian nuclear sites was the go. I believe Israel will pull back now. The United States would not have gone in unless this was actually the last segment. They would have waited longer. Trump did a head fake. He said 2 weeks to kind of build in a little comfort. And I believe that Trump was doing a head fake. And I told you the reason why is because Trump always said, you never tell the enemy when you're going to hit them. So I believed it was disinformation, and it wound up being correct. Trump did not play his cards and show his cards because Trump doesn't do that. So when he did it, I had a good feeling it was a head fake. And that's just understanding the man and watching him for 9 years now, and understanding his pantomimes and mannerisms.
Right. What was common sense, and not allow the #1 state sponsor of terror.
And that was an Iranian, proxy, killed 241 service members at the barracks in Beirut. And this is where there's a lot of concern about maybe retaliation by Iranian proxies on our bases in the region. There are sleeper cells, according to Tom Cotton and others.
Did Trump need permission for this? Joanne says, no, not need. I guarantee he updated the Gang of Eight, which are Senate Oversight Committee, Intelligence Committees, House officials, and Senate officials. Usually the Speaker, the Minority Leader, the House Majority Leader, and Senate Minority and Majority Leader, and then one member of the Intelligence Committee, senior ranking member on both parties, and then the oversight committee usually, and then one other. But the Gang of Eight is a group of 8 people that the President of the United States can electively notify that he is going to do this. He did not need Senate approval. This was not a declaration of war. This was simply quiet when you do that, okay? It was a controlled strike that was designed. Ash, go lay down. It was a controlled strike that was designed to weaken a threat to the United States. Hayden, open that up just a bit, please, for the animals. To weaken a rival and a threat to the United States. So no, he did not need to. But I promise what you're going to hear is that he did notify Gang of Eight. I think you'll hear that tonight. Donald Trump more than likely will say that because it is protocol. It doesn't mean that he did. Because I wouldn't be surprised if Trump said fuck him and didn't do it at all. He doesn't have to notify anybody. It's just kind of blasé fair to do it, and it's a protocol procedure. Fox reported that the Pentagon didn't know. I would be very surprised that the Pentagon didn't know, considering SAC NORAD watches those B-2s. NORAD is going to have those things on Squawk, and you're also going to have SAC. You're also going to have a couple of other bases like CENTCOM that I can't talk about that are also going to be watching those B-2s. You're going to have Ramstein be involved in that. You're going to have multiple bases. I would be shocked if the Pentagon didn't know. I think the Pentagon's not fucking talking, and they shouldn't be talking. They should shut up and let the president talk. I would be really surprised if the Pentagon didn't know. There are too many points of infrastructure inside the Pentagon that are needed to put off something like this, especially when it comes to Air Force with SAC NORAD. So I would be shocked if they didn't know. What you're doing is you're blinding our boys if the Pentagon doesn't know. Do I believe that they knew the entire operation of the strike? I believe that Donald Trump only included people and SecDef only included people who had a need-to-know basis. This isn't one that was going to be broadcast over Signal or some chat room. This is a serious strike. This is one that you don't fuck around because you've got $100 billion worth of aircraft and armaments in there. And you're not going to fuck around with this. So I would be shocked if the Pentagon didn't know. That would. In fact, I am positive the Pentagon knows and knew to at least some level of what was happening. I knew, and if I know, then the Pentagon knows. I'm just telling you guys, the Pentagon knew.
That's something that people are going to be on edge. The other thing that they
go lay down, Yenny.
We will bring that
exploded. This operation has been a great deal of deception. So all eyes on Fordo and the B-2 bombers.
If it's okay with y'all, I am not going to.
In Isfahan and Natanz, we understand.
So Isfahan and Natanz, if I can show you this map, this is what I showed you last night, which was the breakdown of Fordo and what was there.
Part of this operation has been who tell me that Isfahan.
So this is a support.
In Isfahan and Natanz.
You can see the tunnel entrances, security perimeter with guard towers, centrifuges beneath the mountain. This is the map I showed you last night where we had the full first level of this. This is why they use 6. They don't care about the support building. They don't care about checkpoints. Tunnel entrances more than likely were hit. That's why you saw 6, because I guarantee they put undisclosed amount of weight and armament into those tunnels and obliterated them, so there was no entrance into those areas. I guarantee they hit a mass quality of centrifuges and main and auxiliary power to that unit. I believe that 120%. So 6 makes sense. 30 would have been my recommendation. Not only should you kill it, you should eradicate it from the earth. Did they deplete the Iran missiles that they've been firing off? I'm worried about retaliation. U.S. base over there is at MSAB. I can tell you this. The United States has plenty of systems that are in place to protect our bases. I would not worry about that too much. And the Iranians aren't stupid enough to fucking hit the United States. If they do, they're going to lose a lot more than a nuclear facility. They're going to lose their oil productivity, and that entire country is going to be starving. And every cleric and every Shah and every Mulan will be murdered and killed. So I want you guys to understand something. What you more than likely will see is that the Ayatollah will probably not be able to remain in power after this. This is a massive disgrace for the Ayatollah. what the worry is that the IRGC, being 30,000 strong, will more than likely survive any type of regime change by coup. I wouldn't consider that, because I believe Israel has a plan for that. If you cut the head off the snake and kill the IRGC commanders, you're going to put yourself in a very good spot. Israel knows where these guys are. They will be able to weaken resistances. They will be able to supply with arms. They can put commandos in there. Iran does not want this. They do not want a ground war. And Israel is more than welcome to fight this fight, because Iranians are a defensive force, not an offensive force. You can see the missiles they're sending in are completely useless. Yes, they've done damage, but that's basically because the fuselages are 16,000 pounds and they're dropping F-250 trucks from the sky because the Iron Dome lights them up. Their ability to overwhelm Iron Dome is measured in small increments, because they simply don't have enough missiles that can reach them. They have 3,000 missiles, but only 1,000 of them can actually reach the perimeters, because they're not long enough range. They don't have the fuel source, they don't have the capabilities, and they don't have the targeting packages. This is why we were fearful that China was coming in to activate these other 2,000 missiles with better radar system and target acquisition. I believe the United States didn't find that to be a threat, and they continue to move forward and hit these areas. Fox said Isfahan was its hardest target and was attacked by a Navy destroyer. Cruise missiles are more than likely what happened. Isfahan has a lot of above ground targets that could be hit, and is not as deep and protected as Fordow is.
Latest information there. Obviously, like the United States has gamed out any possible retaliation, so too have the Israelis, I am sure, Trey.
Yeah, Sean, absolutely. Right now, Israel is bracing for the possibility that Iran responds to these American strikes targeting the country's nuclear facilities. We're also tonight getting the first reaction from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He released a lengthy statement praising President Trump for these strikes. He says, quote, tonight, President Trump and the U.S. acted with a lot of strength. President Trump,
every time I take it out, one gets stuck in my ear.
I'm sorry.
The people of Israel, thank you. The forces of civilization, thank you. God bless America. God bless Israel. John?
I'll come right back to you, but first, let's go to the White House.
All right. I'm not going to be talking. I'm going to be listening. So everyone, let's listen.
The U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime: Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier. For 40 years, Iran has been saying death to America, death to Israel. They have been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by their
new
general,
version of Trump,
Qasem Soleimani. I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen. It will not continue.
I didn't want to stop, but I just want to let you know, 30,000 pound bombs, the GBU-57, what we talked about last night. I did tell you the 30,000 pounds. There are some larger bombs that we possess. It looks like, once again, that the prediction that they weren't going to use tactical nukes was bullshit. I told you it was bullshit. It wasn't going to happen. Alex Jones reported on it. But GBU-57 is more than effective to hit this area. 200 feet is what they said at a 45-degree angle. Yeah, that's the civilian assessment. The military classified is much more impactful than a 200-foot penetration. So not only did they kill them, they killed them dead.
like perhaps no team has ever worked before. And we've gone a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel. I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job they've done. And most importantly, I want to congratulate the great American patriots who flew those magnificent machines tonight, and all of the United States military on an operation the likes of which the world has not seen in many, many decades. Hopefully, we will no longer need their services in this capacity. I hope that's so. I also want to congratulate the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raisin Kane, spectacular general, and all of the brilliant military minds involved in this attack. With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight, not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago. Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them. God bless the Middle East. God bless Israel, and God bless America. Thank you very much.
Strong.
Short and sweet.
Yeah.
President Trump at the White House with Vice President Vance, Secretary of State.
Excellent.
Marco Rubio.
Shut up, Hannity. Excellent. Absolutely fantastic. I couldn't have said it better myself. It was strong. It was determined. It lays down the ultimatum. Play ball or it's going to get worse. And we know what they can do from an economic standpoint, the sanctions they can put on Iran. People are talking about being worried about the Chinese Communist Party. Why? China's not going to get involved in this. Nobody was saying anything. Jordan didn't say anything. UAE didn't say anything. Egypt didn't say anything. Saudi didn't say anything. Iraq didn't say anything. Yemen didn't say anything. Everybody understands what Iran is. Everyone understands that they are the only thing stopping from the Middle East from being at peace. Muslims have spent thousands of years killing each other, and if not that, they kill Jews. I don't believe they have a taste for it anymore. I believe they want economic equivalency of Western civilization with keeping their moral fundamentals when it comes to their ideology and religious beliefs. I believe they want to transcend. The only people stopping that are these fucking proxy terror groups, which need to be obliterated off the planet. And if we can stop and cripple and neuter Iran, remove the Shah, the clerics, Khomeini, and get the people to stand up against the IRGC with the help of Israel and Saudi Arabia and other countries, I believe the Abraham Accords will be fulfilled. I believe Israel and Saudi Arabia will recognize each other and make peace, and other Arab nations will follow. That can't be done with Iran. Now, people are saying, well, wait a second. I don't want regime change. I don't want wars. This isn't a war. This is a strategic initiative to weaken Iran. And that's what was done. There's no boots on the ground. This is an airstrike. If you didn't say anything when Obama did 16 different strikes.
Oh, my goodness.
16 different strikes. Sorry. She won't get down. You got to get her down. She's got to get down. I didn't mean to knock your phone down. I'm sorry. Look at her. She's fine. She thinks we're playing. 16 different strikes from Obama. If you didn't see, are the 16 different countries that he bombed during his campaign and his presidency, then I don't want to hear this. If you didn't complain about Joe Biden making war with 8 different countries and blowing people off the face of the earth with drones, I don't want to hear about this. This is something that needed to take place. I've been calling for it for 4 years. It's now done. Iran does not have a bomb, and they are going to have to go back to their conventional means. And when they do that, they are going to pay a price because the fear of them getting a nuke is over. Sorry about your phone.
That's fine. There's a question.
Yeah.
Christy from YouTube says, I don't understand a lot, but do we have concerns that Russia might start a problem?
That Russia?
Yes.
What can Russia do?
I don't know.
Yeah, Russia can't do anything, Christy. Russia is getting their ass handed to them by Ukraine, and grandmothers wielding a broom in a narrowed 3-foot passage. The 300 is what Ukraine now is. I mean, they should make a movie. No more Leonidas and the Spartans. It should be a gimpy gnome troll called Zelensky is literally embarrassing, supposedly, the Great Iron Red Army. Russia is getting their asses handed to them. And it's the reason why is because Russia is great at spending military money, but they are horrible at logistics. They are horrible at refueling. They are horrible at not wasting armament and wasting their military foot soldiers. And they don't understand how to effectively prosecute a war. We found this out in World War II. We found it in WW1. We found it out during the Bolshevik Revolution. We found it out during, you can go back to the 1800s. Russia they are strong, they are fierce, but they also starve and freeze with the best of them. I'm not worried about Russia. They have nothing. Russia is as weak and feckless as Iran. People are so like, oh yeah, Russia. They're so, no. Russia is Mel Lowe and I have been saying this, and so is Leroy, that Russia is the biggest threat that Russia has is to themselves, and if they are stupid enough to use a nuke, that's the threat. Otherwise, Russia military is a bunch of fucking twats. Sorry, I don't mean to be like, I'm not trying to be graphic. I'm just telling you, people relax about Russia. People are complaining, putting it nicely, that Trump didn't go through Congress. Since this isn't our war, he didn't have to, right? No, he didn't have to notify Congress. I think you'll find out that he notified the Gang of Eight. But I don't believe that he doesn't have to notify. It's not about belief. He doesn't have to notify Congress. He can make war for 60 days and then stand down for 30 days with an extension if he does ask Congress. But we haven't declared war since World War II. What do we think about Afghanistan? What do we think about Iraq? Obama didn't ask Congress to go ahead and blow up people in Bosnia-Herzegovina, kill American citizens in Egypt, go ahead and kill military leaders in revolutions in other countries. Give me a break. No, the president of the United States doesn't need to notify anybody. He can tell them to kiss his pucker. I think he notified the Gang of Eight because that's normal. That's standard. He did it when he went into Syria. He did it when he did when they were going to execute ISIS, and they were making the full push in ISIS. I don't imagine that he didn't notify the Gang of Eight. Let's go ahead. Well, it's not that Russia and China have quit Iran. It's that Iran can no longer supply what Russia and China need. China has been supplying Iran with their nuclear technology when it comes to their long-range missiles and their missile systems. Russia has been supplying armaments and been buying drones from Iran and energy. China's been buying energy too. But if Iran continues to try to be a superpower on the open world, they're going to get their asses slapped. They're going to get slapped. I know people are saying that there's been warnings that Department of Homeland Security are saying that heightened sense of alert for Iranian terror groups. And I have not seen anything like that. I don't know where you're sharing that stuff. Please be careful.
I got a question.
Please don't share stuff on my site unless it's confirmed. So unless you have a source, don't do that. Go ahead.
The country right to the right of Israel. What is that? It's not.
That's Syria.
No, the one under Syria between that one. It doesn't have a name on it, and I don't know my geography very well.
Egypt, Syria, Iraq, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Northern. Oh my God! What the fuck? Why am I drawing a blank? It's not Jordan. What is it? I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm failing miserably.
You're failing as a human being. How
No,
dare you?
what I'm mad about is there's somebody who's spamming in my thread about their
Who?
product, and that's not.
We've already gotten.
It's got to be Jordan. It's got to be Jordan. It has to be, because that's the flight path east into. It's got to be Jordan. I'll put $1 million on it that it's Jordan.
Where are they at? Which feed?
I don't know. This guy is. He just put a link in here. His name is Redmond Grant, and back a buddy campaign Redmond Grant.
I got him.
No, don't ban him. Find out what it is.
Okay, let me look.
Yeah, find out what it, and if it is, then tell him stop spamming our thread and build a relationship with me, and I'll promote your shit. But don't come in here and spam my thread on my dime. You know, don't do advertising.
Got a donation.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, looks like somebody already got him.
Back a buddy. Oh yeah, ban that fucker. See ya, dude. Yeah, don't come into my channel and spam your shit. Christy Martin, what did she spam? What did she do?
She gave us $2.
Thank you, Christy.
And the last donation, since it already popped up.
That was a super chat. Thank you.
That was a super chat. Holy.
No, Lebanon's to the north, guys. Lebanon is that northern area, right in between. It's Jordan. It's Jordan. I'm not even going to look. It's Jordan.
It was Nancy Findish. God bless our military. 1080.
Thank you, Nancy. You're the best. It's Jordan. I don't even have to look. It's Jordan. I just drew a blank. It's Jordan. Liv, you want to look? Just to make sure I'm not full of shit. I very rarely am, but I could be. Let's listen to the news.
The president went on in a statement, a very powerful statement, ending with him thanking God and the United States military. He praised the military of Israel, the military
correct,
of the
sir.
United States. Said hopefully
what? Hold on.
You are
we will
correct,
no longer
sir.
need their
It's Jordan?
services.
Yeah.
Okay, thought so. I'm like, if I failed I got a 100% on that test in Intel, and Leroy and I both nailed that test. So, you know, if I fail that now, I'm getting old, folks. We're at 162.40. Today's our day off. Olivia and I go. She's like, I'm checked out. We put up the last camera, and she goes,
I was like halfway through. I was like, I have hit my wall.
I'm
officially.
exhausted.
I am
tired.
done. I can't do anymore. It's been 4 weeks in a row, and I'm just done. And then this happens. You couldn't have waited until Sunday, President Trump, and respected my day off.
Yeah. I told you it's going to happen Saturday.
I know.
Folks, just because we've got to pay for our time on 162.40. We appreciate you. We're just going to play a quick commercial. We'll be right back. Hang in. It's 2 minutes. Go get a pee, and then come on back.
Hi, I'm Olivia Spear, host of The Dumb Show. For 3.5 years, we never asked for donations, but after Facebook demonetized us for speaking the truth, we've had to turn to the one thing big tech can't cancel: you.
I'm Hayden, Matt and Olivia's daughter. This show's never chased sponsors or sold out. We've built something honest, and it's thanks to you.
I'm Ethan, their son. Every share, every dollar, every message, you're the reason we can keep calling out the BS and bringing color back to the world going gray.
If you want to help, we take PayPal, Venmo, or snail mail. You can send it to P.O. Box 2, Round Hill, Virginia 20142.
Can't donate? No problem. Just share the show with someone who needs to hear it.
Thanks for helping us stay loud, proud, and completely uncensored. You can donate at thedumbshow.com/donate.
You know what happens when you turn the dial harder? You can make a harder grimace. The harder you grimace, the more effective it is.
You tighten it so freaking. I can't do it. I can't untighten
That's what she said.
That's what she's. Oof. Coming in with it. Pounded. Pound.
Child 15.
Ethan, you look like a hippie.
Told the YouTube.
You know this is recording, right?
Okay, let's go. Smile. Donate. Don't start with me. Donations. Every time you don't smile, I'm gonna punch you in the ribs. Donations. Take one. Scene one. Ready. Set. Ethan.
Break.
Ready. Don't screw it up.
Okay.
Ethan, don't mess this up. Ready. Set. Action. No. Whoa. Director calls action, not some stupid toddler.
But we've built something
There's
honest.
no but there. Why do you've been doing this since you were 2 years old. Try it again.
Just share the show with someone who needs to hear it.
He's so much better than you. at everything.
He's better at all.
Hayden, he's just like, even, it's just, go ahead, Hayden.
Thanks for helping us stay loud, proud, and completely uncensored.
That's a wrap. Well done, Spear family. I bet we make no money.
But I'm gonna owe them money without.
Hayden, do your thing again.
Oh, yeah, cut it.
Baby shark, doo 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 doo.
Thank you, folks. You can go to dumbshow.com/donate. We're at $162.40. Nancy is our latest donation, and you can help us out. It doesn't matter if everyone gave $1 right now. We would have a shit ton of dollars. 310 people on
shit ton. That's not an amount, but that's
193 people on Twitter, which is huge. 31 on YouTube and 87 on Facebook. Your likes and shares, they do help, and we appreciate it. Let's get back to catching up with Fox News, seeing where they're at here. We're not celebrating the strike, but trust me, we feel a lot better that Iran. Mel Lowe, 51.99. Intel rocks. Yes, it does.
I think we showed tonight that once again the policy of peace through strength works, but they were given every opportunity,
That's right.
and they'll be given another opportunity. If the Iranians are foolish enough to try to retaliate, it is obvious that part two of this operation, part one, is an unmitigated historic success. And I believe this military effort, like a lot of the military efforts of the Israelis, will be studied probably for the next 100 years. So too will this president and his team. They have gamed out every possible scenario whereby the Iranians, if they are foolish, might try to go after Americans or American assets. If they do that, I mean, as the president said, the hard targets are gone. They could wipe out their economy with one shot at their refineries that are clustered very close together. They can take out their entire electric grid. And I think there's going to be a lot of ramifications, and that'll settle out over time. My hope is, and my belief is, I'd not be surprised if a lot of countries in the region don't sign on to the Abraham Accords as a result of all of this. I would imagine all of the Gulf states will. I wouldn't be surprised if the Jordanians eventually did and the Egyptians did. I mean, this could hopefully, maybe, perhaps, without the threat of a nuclear-armed Iran, usher in an era of real peace in that region that has been craving it and hungering for it for such a long time. I've got to hope that might be a possibility. And you're right. I think every one of America's geopolitical foes, they're watching closely tonight. The military might of the United States and also the will of President Donald J. Trump, and they are taking notes tonight.
YouTube.
Oh, I don't care.
Hey, and
It's
Sean,
fucking YouTube.
Let me
Who cares about
couple
YouTube?
things. The Iranian people, I believe, actually.
Yeah, I love the spammers on YouTube. YouTube is a dead. That channel's impossible. Go ahead and spam it. It'll probably have the most interaction it's had in 2 years. We don't give a fuck about YouTube. Spam away. Oh my God, forget it. Anybody that says skibbity, oh God, ban that fucking hoochie bitch.
Nah, just let her. Whatever.
No, ban the bitch. She's done. Anybody who uses that language, I can't stand that shit. They got to go. Interesting thing. As far as phase 2 of strikes on Iran, there's nothing that states that the United States has a phase 2 plan, because there was nothing stopping them just doing all phases right now. I think what you'll see is that the United States is going to stand back at this point. They're going to go to Israel and they're going to say, listen, you've crippled Hezbollah. You've crippled the Houthis. You've crippled the IRGC in Syria. You have crippled Hamas. And now you've crippled Iran. Is there anyone else that you would like to fuck with that we can do you any favors for? No? Okay, then it's time to put this to bed. And now it's time for you to sign the Abraham Accords with Saudi Arabia, and so we can have peace in the Middle East. Do I think it's going to be that easy? No. I think Iran they're going to be licking their wounds, and they have just lost hundreds of billions of dollars. And the last thing that Iran wants right now is for Trump to hit the oil fields or the oil island in Iran, which is essentially their only source of income. their drone factories would be the next hit, which is supplying the Fahid drone to Russia against Ukraine, and is being supplied for multiple proxy groups from Iran. I don't foresee this. Well, we love you. We love our YouTube people who stay here, but if you guys troll us, we don't give a shit. Like, please run a train on us. We love it. But I just don't foresee there being a multifaceted attack when there was no reason not to just get it all done in one shot. I think they're going to pull back. United States is going to sit back. We're going to park our B-2s in Diego. We'll probably fly them out and remove them because of the hypersonic missile threat that China does have, just in case. And let them lick their wounds a little bit and see what they do. And if they retaliate large against U.S. forces, watch out. The United States will cripple them economically with sanctions, but also probably hit their oil refineries and hit their drone manufacturing plants and multiple other targets. There's plenty of other. I mean, he's right. They could have a field day. Iran has an air force. Iran has tanks and has APC and APV units that they can hit. They also have military command and control structures and bases that we can hit. Energy and power. Iran does not want to fuck around and find out at this point. Pardon my language, but that's true. All right, here's the rest.
And the Iranian people. In fact, Iran was actually more westernized than any other.
We bring in the host of Special Report. Brett Baer is with us. Brett, thank you for being with us. I did have a conversation when you were breaking news live right here on Fox. I got some details again, you got
Joel.
on the air immediately. And the fact we had initially discussed at length and in great detail the issue of maybe 2 bunker buster bombs being needed for this Fordo facility. It ends up 6. It ends up that the Israelis had only gotten 75% of the other 2 nuclear sites that they had been attacking on a regular basis. And Tomahawk missiles, the president reporting tonight, they were totally, all 3 of them, obliterated. Incredible news. There's history tonight here.
And I'll just tell you, I told you that Tomahawks would be used, which are great for surface level targeting, but the Tomahawk is not ideal for deep penetration. Tomahawks would be used to take out S-300 or SA missile sites, CSC-3 Silkworm sites. Tomahawks would be used for buildings, command and control communications, radio, fiber optics, certain military targets and buildings. That's what Tomahawks are good for. And I can't tell you why Tomahawks are good for that, and specifically why the Israelis would use Tomahawks in certain situations. There is a process during its final approach that a Tomahawk has that makes it exceptional to hit certain targets, but I can't go into why because it's classified. But I can tell you that it makes it very, very effective. But in this case, as far as penetrating deep into reinforced concrete and steel and hitting centrifuges and secondary and auxiliary and primary power, not so much. So that would not surprise me that 75% of the facilities were remaining, and that's why these bunker busters were used. They are absolutely devastating. The 67s that they said they use, the GBUs, are 30,000 pounds. They say they're penetrating up to 200 feet. They are more than that, and we have armaments that are larger than that. I wouldn't be surprised that that's what the United States is claiming they used. I would probably guess that the secondary insert of ordnance was probably something a little larger, because the first one is actually going to make the hole, and the second one is going to follow it in right behind it, and really be the ordnance that does the most damage, because the first one weakens and the second one literally obliterates and incinerates. Matt, did all 3 get bombed at the same time, do you think? Yes. Yeah, this was a simultaneous synchronized attack is what I would anticipate. Why? Because of the close proximity. Yeah, I would hit them all at 3. What you don't want to do is wake up the hen house and take one hen when you can, pardon my expression, slit the throats of all of them. So, yeah, you don't want to send off a fire alarm. So you would hit them all 3 at the same time. And I believe it was synchronized up until a point. There might have been a little delay here and there, maybe a minute or two. But in the end, I would anticipate they hit them all at the same time. Matt, do you feel that everything that's supposed to be destroyed has been destroyed? We would still be hitting it if it wasn't. Yeah, we would be continuing to hit. This would be an ongoing thing, and there's no indication that this is a reoccurring and that other sorties are taking place. It looks like this was one single wave, and it wasn't one single wave. I'm telling you, it wasn't. They didn't just fly B-2s in there haphazardly. Like I told you, I got a downvote. Whatever. Like you getting this anywhere else? Like you're getting anything better than this anywhere else?
Hopefully it's fat thumbs.
You're just angry. You're just angry because you're
the
lonely.
downvote?
I don't know. We got it on some channel. Who cares? So I think that's it. That's pretty much it. You're going to hit these areas, but to say that this was a single wave, no. F-22s were running intercept and also running cover and looking for anything squawking so they could light it up like a Christmas tree from 500 miles away. Those F-22s are air superiority fighters. They are not, they are there. Essentially, they're the goalkeepers of the sky. And they were doing work, which was any type of surface to air radar or threat indicators that were going off were getting just blown to hell. And I promise you, with the integrated air defense systems that were remaining, which were few, were all portable, they all squawked. As they send in basically what is like target acquisition rich, which was probably a fighter or an F-35, would go in, do a flyover, light up the radar, and then those F-22s would HK them, hunter kill them. That's what I'm thinking, if that makes sense.
Darla said thank you for answering her question.
Sure, my pleasure. Folks, 214.39 unexpected night. We didn't expect to be here on a Saturday, especially
First,
this late.
Changes the dynamic.
Olivia's going to
Fall asleep.
read me the riot act. Here's the rest.
The president saying you could get back to the negotiation table. Then he says, within 2 weeks, I'll make the decision.
Thank you, Matt. We appreciate you, buddy. $51.99, $266, $44 away from gold that we didn't expect to have.
And when the 6 B-2 bombers go west,
the show alone tonight is why we do what we can to help make sure you never stop doing this. Love you guys. We love you too.
It was already in motion in the east.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But you've got to also say, the day after the president mentioned within 2 weeks, the next day.
First place I turned to when I heard shit was going down, needed Matt to fill me in and reassure me of all the facts and what to expect to come. Thanks, Joel. That means the world. That's good. That's all. I think that doesn't that make it better? Olivia says yes, kinda. She says kinda. GBU 57 is what I said. I said 67. AB bomb. I apologize. You hear from Israel from this? You hear from Israel from this? Did I hear from contacts that I have in Israel over this? I did. Yeah.
I didn't realize you had contacts in Israel.
Yeah, that's what happens when you go and work for the IDF for 6 months.
I'm assuming you've got contacts everywhere.
I've got a few people who.
Yeah. It doesn't surprise me in the.
How do you think I knew about the pagers?
Yeah.
How do you think I broke that entire thing down before one word was talked about it?
That's true.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah. Jennifer McCarver donated my token of appreciation for you and Olivia working for us tonight in your day off. Love you guys. Thank you, Jennifer. We love you too, sweetie. 318.37. Thank you, guys. I appreciate all of you. It means the world to us. It really does.
President mentioned.
Liz says a 5.1 earthquake was detected near Fordow. Was it an actual earthquake or a bomb test? I have no. Listen, the conspiracy theorists are going to come out. I'm telling you now, Liz. A lot of people are going to say that it was the United States using their earthquake machines, which don't exist. I'm just letting you know that
they're right along with the hurricane machines.
Yeah, there is an active fault in Iran, and anywhere which is a mountainous region usually has active faults. And Iran is extremely mountainous, and so is Afghanistan and others. And the reason why there are mountains is because of tectonic plates and the shifts. So, no, it does not surprise me that there was a 5.2. Maybe it was a message from God. Maybe it was the earthquake machines. I don't know, but I will tell you, I think it's just a little bit of happenstance and serendipitousness.
That's not a word.
Yes, it is.
Is it?
Yes, it fucking is.
I know.
You want to challenge me? Look it up.
Is a word.
Look it up.
Serendipitousness. What?
That's not what I said.
What is it?
Serendipitousness. Look it up.
How do you?
Why don't you believe? Why don't you? By now, you think you would trust me.
Yeah, I know.
Are you actually going to look it up? I
Yeah.
love this. This is great. I'm going to play this while you look it up.
What?
Oh my God, tatiousness. How many times do I have to say it?
Dip.
You uncultured swine.
President mentioned within 2 weeks, the next day, the Iranian foreign minister came out and said, nope, no interest in negotiating. That could have accelerated the timeline, but that would only be speculation on my part.
Serendipitousness or serendipitously means happening or discovered by chance.
The foreign minister shut it down.
Serendipitously also works.
All right, Brett Baer.
Thank you. Say
as always, we appreciate you being
Say
with
you're
us.
sorry. Say it.
No.
Say it
Because
again.
it said
or you.
serendipitously, whatever.
It said serendipitousness right under the sign. It's the action of being serendipitous. You can be fastidious.
What is serendipity?
You can be fastidious.
Serendipity is my favorite movie, but I don't even know what it means.
Whatever. Don't be a knucklehead. You can be fastidious.
I don't know what that means either.
Oh my God. You can be facetious.
I'm an uncultured swine.
You're not an uncultured swine. You're hot.
Thanks.
This is the foundation of truth with no BS show. I don't know if serendipitousness is a word. I know serendipitously is. I know serendipity is.
Thank you for the donation, Lois. Good job giving the information to us, 2110. Appreciate it.
You got it. Let's finish up and listen to a little bit more of this. Yeah, God may be giving a warning to these people. Absolutely.
Fox News Channel. All right, joining us now with more is Israeli Special Ops veteran Aaron Cohn is with us. Aaron, we have gamed this out now since the start of this conflict. We knew probably after October 7th
Thank you, Loretta.
Things in the region were likely.
We were, I got a message. See, Olivia doesn't even ask how I found out.
I don't even bother because I'm not going to get an answer. I'm just going to get a.
I'm just saying you should know I've got, so I got information. And I told her, I said, we just hit Fort Al and, we need to go on. And here we are. So there you go.
Here we are.
Terror. And I want to lead into my question by reminding people I've been to Israel many times. And I've been in those underground terror tunnels, and I've been to the border towns like Sderot. By the time I had been there, it was a town that had been hit with 10,000 rockets in the 10 previous years. It was a town with the naked eye, you could see Gaza, and children had to play in underground bunker playgrounds because it only took 12, 13 seconds for a rocket to be fired and land in that town. I saw the progression of...
Hi, baby.
Hi. What's up?
The word you're looking for, serendipitousness, which refers to the quality of something happening by fortunate chance or a happy accident. However, a more common and smoother alternative is simply serendipity. However, serendipitousness, a word not often used, is indeed a word.
Thank you, sir.
That's why when you play me in Scrabble, you get your ass kicked.
Yeah. And freaking.
I saw the progression of the rockets that were being fired into Israel.
Pursuit.
Yeah,
how much more lethal they were on year 10 than year 1 to inflict maximum harm and carnage and damage.
Karen says, are there any targets? So, Bobby Richardson donated $10.80, long-time listener, first-time donator.
The Insider Advantage Trafalgar poll said the president...
Thanks, Bobby. I got your flag. It's no longer Oregon Ducks. I can't tell you what I did to it. I can just tell you
we put it in Yenny's litter box.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. She took a giant shit right over it. Are there any targets left? Indeed. Yeah, there's thousands of targets left. I mean, you have ammo depots, you have command control, communications and computers. You have oil. You have refineries. There's so many things to hit. There's plenty of target-rich environments. The point is how much does Iran want to lose before they pull back? And this comes down to a financial war. Is the reason why people don't understand why they can't beat the United States is because we have unlimited funds and own the global economy. That's not going to change. Too many people have invested in the United States. Our currency can be printed out at will. We don't give a shit. We want to go 40 trillion in debt. Fine. What does everyone want to go bankrupt? The United States is in a position to basically fight endless wars if they want to. Do I like that idea? No. Do I think tonight was necessary? Yes, I do. Matt, sorry if I'm late to the question, but how does the rest of the world respond? Near peers, allies, who cares? As always, IDGAF. I don't give a fuck. I don't need a lecture from Europe. And other than that, there's really no other countries that can stand up against the U.S. China and Russia aren't going to squawk on this. They know better. I don't care what the world thinks. But honestly, I think the world is breathing a sigh of relief because the United States, once again, had the balls to do and the ability to do what no one else could do. Nobody is complaining that Iran is a weaker country today. Nobody. Maybe North Korea. Kim Jong-un might come out and go, oh, you fucky. You fuck with Iran. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to rain fire on you, you bastard. But who gives a fuck what that guy thinks? Hit him again. I don't care. Is it true the left-wing nutcases will say this didn't happen? They were just filming for Tremors 13. I believe that the Democrats will squawk and complain and bitch and whine that Donald Trump did not get, they've already told you what they're going to do. They've been complaining about congressional approval of this. That's what they're going to do. I haven't even watched the news, and I guarantee they're already squawking, well, he didn't get congressional approval, impeach him. And they've told you what they're going to do. They already gave you the tea leaves and rolled the bones, and this is what they were going to hang their hat on. So once again, Democrats are going to do an 80-20 split, and America is going to approve of this, and they're going to be on the wrong side yet again. And that's fine. That's fine. Does that mean no more money to Iran? We haven't given money in Iran in this administration in a while.
That would be Obama?
And Biden. Let's listen to the rest, and then we're going to go soon.
But anybody that might have doubt, how many rockets would need to be fired into an American town or city before Americans would demand that their government respond? If you add up all the rockets over all the decades that have been fired into Israel, how many hundreds of thousands have been fired? If you talk about Lebanon, if you talk about Gaza, now the Houthi rebels, the Iranians directly, how many more missiles will Israel?
All right, I'm fast forwarding.
I'll end on this, Aaron, is that I talk a lot about the Trump doctrine. I think there needs to be a new Israel doctrine, and that is you fire one rocket into Israel, you will be obliterated. It has to happen. People cannot live this way, for decades and decades. At that point, I'd like to see the Abraham Accords, maybe as a consequence of tonight, maybe something good that will come out of tonight will be that countries in the region will recognize Israel and their right to exist and create partnerships and business arrangements and a coalition of peace and to eliminate extremism in the entire region.
And that the Ayatollah gets dragged out of his freaking bedroom by his beard.
He is live. He's been reporting for us all night in Israel tonight. Trey, what's going on now?
Spiritual leader of Iran.
Yeah, Sean, Aaron made some great points there, because when you look at what the Iranians have left, it is far less than what they had 2 weeks ago. Most of the country's air defense systems have been taken out. They have burned through their stockpile of ballistic missiles. Largely, the launchers for these missiles have been destroyed, around 2/3 of them, according to the IDF. And the Israelis have taken out top IRGC officials across the board. And then with tonight's strikes of their nuclear facilities being targeted by the Americans, the Iranians have no levers left to pull. And so this raises the question about whether or not they would be willing to have some sort of limited response and then end this round of conflict, this war that has erupted between Iran and Israel. Now, tonight, Sean, we're getting yet another statement from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who details a...
Before we play this, Paul says, waiting for your BDA when footage comes out. Yeah, I mean, bomb damage assessment is something that Leroy and I love to do. I will tell you that the footage isn't going to tell you much unless somebody goes down on that ground and goes through it. But if you use 30,000, there's nothing left. Every single one of those entrances is completely shut down. They may excavate it. At this point, I think Iran is going to say, what the fuck? Jeez, we only killed a couple Jews. What the fuck is wrong with these people? You know, I don't think they're going to be too happy. I think Iran is going to pull back a little bit, and they may try to do something. Let's hope China didn't drop off a nuke. But other than that, I think Iran they're toast. $360, $973. JD loves even numbers. He can't stand it. So I would have loved to see a baby just done $49.73 and hit it at 400, but whatever, you know, to each his own. I don't
Beggars can't be choosers.
Beggars can't be choosers. That's funny. Here's the rest of it. I want to hear this part.
President Trump called me. It was a very warm, very moving conversation. He congratulated me, he congratulated our army, and he congratulated our people. And I congratulated him, the U.S. pilots, and the American people. Netanyahu goes on to say President Trump is leading the free world with courage. He is a tremendous friend of Israel like no other before him. That echoes what we are hearing from officials, both current and former, here in Israel. They are incredibly thankful to President Trump for taking this action tonight because it takes out what is arguably the largest threat against the Jewish state, and that is a nuclearized Iran. And according to President Trump and officials here on the ground, they were within weeks of getting a nuclear weapon. They were in the advanced stages of uranium enrichment at a very
If
high
you have
level
not
of
read
purity,
Trey
close to
Yanks'
weapons-grade
book,
material.
you should go on
What is
Amazon
it?
and pick what?
What is the book?
Well, it's a book on October 7th, and he's been covering it. And he also spent time in Ukraine and several other places. He also took some damage in previous conflict, I believe, in Ukraine. So his book is amazing. Go read it. But Trey Yanks, you can find it. I don't know the name of it, but you can find it. I'm too tired to care. But I thought I would give him a plug because I really like this guy. He's got balls. Hey, thank you, Joanne.
Well, what if the
Hey.
moon was made of cheese?
The moon's made. What if the moon was made of cheese? Donated $10. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for being here, Joanne.
Centers like Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, and Haifa. And so the days ahead could be difficult. Again, as we spoke about earlier, Israel has changed the emergency guidelines for civilians. Israel's Home Front Command is limiting gatherings of people tomorrow. They have canceled workplace and schools. And this country waits to see what comes next. Sean?
They have
There's no doubt
It's
about
summer
it.
break, isn't it?
But there was no doubt that the number one state
Hold on.
sponsor of terror that has been.
What's your question, honey?
Will was wondering if they can draft under 18 with parental consent.
No.
Draft? No.
Yeah.
No. They could not. No, they can't draft, but you can join the military under 18 with parent consent.
Okay, that's what I thought.
If he wants, or he can emancipate himself from his parents and then apply. But yeah, you can join the military at 17 years old. That's the exception. No younger.
That's what I thought. He was like, I thought you could get drafted at 17 with parental consent.
You can't get drafted at 17. You have to be an adult. You have to be 18 years old. There were people who were 12 and 13 who tried to join World War II, and some snuck in, 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds, and they snuck in and did it. But at that point, U.S. was taking anything. But the rules have changed. You can get in at 17 with parental consent, and an exception waiver has to be done at the recruiting station. But you also have to, your aptitude has to be off the fucking charts. You have to be of value for the military to take someone who's 17 years old. Okay? Love you. Don't close that. Leave it open. Matt, does this once again reinforce with the left and world that he is not here to be nice? He's here to give the proverbial middle finger. I think Donald Trump is here to do what needs to be done with no color, no fluff, and no bullshit. The guy promises to do it, and he does it. He said he was going to go ahead and hit Iran. He did. Or he said that Iran should not have a nuclear weapon, and he made his promise. The promise is kept. Donald Trump just keeps his word. Did I vote for this? You're fucking right. I voted for this. Of course I've been saying Iran was the biggest threat to the United States in a long time. Now they're not. Now you have China.
China.
China and China's their energy problems they're gonna go bankrupt in 10 years. They got way too far ahead of their skis. But Iran was the biggest threat. I told you they're the biggest threat and of course they are. And if North Korea gets a nuke, they'll be the second biggest threat, and we're going to hit them too. And the Chinese probably won't do anything about it because they slap North Korea once in a while. China does not want to take over the world from a military standpoint. They can't afford to. What they want is economic superiority. That's what they want. That's what they want. All right, last minute, and then I got to let my wife go to bed. Well, not go to bed, but get into bed with me. She knows what's up.
Terror in the region that kept chanting death to Israel, death to America, wiping Israel off the map. And by the way, they were chanting death to America yesterday.
Yeah, they still have
Tehran.
Delayed entry program. That's how I went into.
They were part of the plotting and planning and scheming of October 7th. That would be the equivalent of losing 40,000 Americans a day based on their
folks. If you're planning on donating, now's the
ours,
time. It's the last 2 or 3 minutes on the show. Then we're going to get out of here. So I know there's some people who are asking. So if you planned on it,
kidnapping and beheading, which
you can join PayPal or Venmo and use a credit card if you want to. We'd appreciate it. But we're doing great. We appreciate you guys donating to us tonight.
Israel was fighting in this case for their survival. If these nuclear facilities, if they ever got nuclear weapons, they have shown a willingness to wipe Israel off the map. That was an existential threat, not only to Israel, but to the world. Those ballistic missiles you talk of, 2,000 pounds, they were soon going to be 4,000 pounds. That capacity seems to have been taken out prior to the nuclear facilities being removed tonight and the nuclear threat. Trey Yanks, you've been reporting, I see it's dawn in Israel. I'm sure the people in Israel probably are up right now as we speak already, very aware of what has happened, and there will be a lot of joy and relief, I'm sure, on behalf of the people of Israel. Our best to them. We bring back Jennifer Griffin back. She has some breaking news from the Pentagon tonight. Jennifer, what's new now?
Well, Sean, I think in terms of the bomb damage assessment, we're going to have to wait to get more information about what was destroyed in Isfahan. Well-placed sources are telling me that Isfahan was, in fact, a harder target than Fordo. Fordo, of course, the president has stated, is completely gone. That's because of those 6 bunker buster, 30,000-pound GBU-57 bombs that were dropped by the B-2s on Fordo, most likely through those air ventilation vents. Going into the facility 300 feet under the ground. But I'm told at Isfahan, which is not
Jennifer,
an site,
you got it. You can't do that, Jen.
Are built,
Jen,
the uranium.
Jen, you can't say things like that, lady.
What'd she say?
She gave the unclassed version of depth penetration of the GBU-57. Lady, knock it off.
Centrifuges are built. It's where the uranium hexafluoride is converted, and it is a very important site, and it is built. There is a tunnel there into the mountain, and it is a harder rock, and I'm told that planners in the past have not been able to think of how it is that they could actually destroy that facility. So we'll have to wait and see, and we'll have a press conference here at 8 a.m. tomorrow here at the Pentagon with Defense Secretary Hegseth, as well as the chairman of the Joint Chiefs,
Adrian Jeanette.
And we will be asking about what
That's
evidence
a new
they
donation.
have that Isfahan
Adrian
is
Jeanette
destroyed, because that
gave us
uranium
$51.99.
is
Adrian,
very
thank you so much. Welcome to the show.
She's been on Rumble for a while.
She has. Well, Adrian, you are awesome. Thank you for that donation. It puts us at $421.99. We love you guys. We thank you so much for that. We're almost done here. I like Jennifer. She does some good stuff. So, yep, 6 bunker busters.
that it is gone because it is extremely
Good night,
dangerous,
Jesus.
and you would not want it to fall into the wrong hands. Sean.
I think that's well said. My Pentagon White House sources have a high degree of confidence. This is what they told me. There will be a damage assessment now that dawn is breaking of the Isfahan facility. And you're right. I think that we need to know for sure what the results are of this strike that has taken place. With that said, there is no doubt what has happened to Fordo. There's no doubt what has happened to Natanz tonight, and there is no doubt that massive damage. There was the belief going into tonight, according to...
See, folks, I'm just going to say one more thing, and then we're going to go. What people need to understand about BDA, and our beautiful cat is up here, and Olivia's up here, and she's going to be like, you want me to get off this feed?
Yes, please.
Oh, God. You're so pretty. Why don't you just worry about it? Esfahan is a harder and more reinforced target. But what you need to understand is that 100% destruction isn't needed. Even if the ordnance does 75% of its capability, that facility's fucked. So they're going to do BDA. They'll, once the sun comes up, they'll tell. And what they're going to look at, honestly, is displacement of the mountain. And that can demonstrate collapsed tunnels. That can they can look at that kind of thing. They're also going to see Iran's reaction. They'll also be able to send drones in there and get footage. But predominantly, they'll look at topographical activity of collapse to identify how effective their penetration was. They also, I can't go into specifics, but I'll tell you, they also receive information back from the GBU 57s on the success of how deep they went and overall penetration levels. And I can't go into specifics, but tell you they'll get feedback from that. So they'll know how much damage they did. And there'll be guys like Leroy and I who are going to be doing imagery analysis to kind of identify how well. But to say that Fordo is a foregone conclusion means that they saw, based upon what the specifications and parameters of the GBU 57's prior results, that they would be able to kill that. And they're assuming at this point that it is killed because they know what their weapon system can do. It sounds like there was a head fake because Fordo was the one they said was so difficult to hit. I was a little surprised at that. And I did mention that last night. And Esfahan is a more reinforced target. So if there's any trepidation, it's based upon the performance of the GBU 57. However, there are other weapon systems in their arsenal, in the United States arsenal, that are not being talked about because of their nature of classification. And I believe, and I think we will find out, and when I see the damage, I'll have a good idea of if other weapon systems were used outside of the GBU 57, which would explain why they may be hesitant based upon testing in a real world scenario, may not have all the details that they're looking for. So they're waiting for the BDA to say whether Esfahan is handicapped to a point of unrecoverable. We'll know that in the next 24 to 48 hours. No problem, Patricia. I'm excited to have Leroy on Tuesday because this will be fun. This is why I haven't heard shit from him in the last 24 hours. Yep. It explains. All right, folks, listen, I'm going to say goodnight. Thank you guys very much for everything. Oh, Benny Pose.
Has he changed his set yet?
I don't know. Who cares? Benny can't do this. Benny can't. Listen, Benny can do a lot of things. Benny can't do this. Benny would just be like, da, 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 da. He would bring somebody on and he'd be like, yeah, really? Wow, it was Bigfoot. Bigfoot did this? Wow. Bigfoot threw pine cones. Wow. It's great. That's great. Good night, Yennefer. All right, everybody. We'll see. Well, we're not going to see you Sunday. Olivia needs a night off, but we do appreciate you guys being on. We want to say God bless. Take care of each other. Everyone rest. Everyone relax. This was executed flawlessly. This was kind of easy because Israel literally softened them to a point of Iran is neutered. They can't put up any defense, and anything they do will be a walk in the park to basically slap them. I can't imagine they're going to do much, but have a great night. We'll put this up on the podcast tomorrow. Everyone who donated, we love you. Donald Thompson,
thank
Moab
you.
and GBU are different. Yeah, GBUs and Moabs are not even remotely close to the same thing. Moab is surface level killer, and GBU is a penetration killer. We can go into that tomorrow. Good night, everybody. God bless. Thanks
Night,
for watching.
y'all.
See you guys later. Bye-bye. Maybe.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
Good idea.